Hey everybody, welcome to Boilermaker Banter, Purdue. This is Brian, your host. I'm with my brother Brett. Say hi.
Hello, Brian. Boiler up.
Boiler up. We've got a 15-minute video here for you. We're going to just quickly talk about the Big Ten tournament, and then we'll get into the first round of the NCAA tournament, and then we'll see how we do on Friday. So, Brett, you want to kick it off?
Sure. Just to recap, between the Michigan State game and the Wisconsin game, we talk about our tiered scoring. That's something we keep bringing up, and how our tiers perform. So tier 1, that's Edie Smith and Lawyer. In the Michigan State game, 39. Wisconsin, 44. The tier 2 scoring, Jones, Wren, and Gillis. In the Michigan State game, 19. Our tier 2 against Wisconsin, 26. So they checked that box. Tier 3, Heidi First, Morton, and Colvin. Against Michigan State, they scored 9. And then against Wisconsin, they scored 5. So that recap, what we talk about, our tier 1 scoring, those are key players, Edie Smith and Lawyer. As we go forward, we won the Michigan State game with 67. We lost to Wisconsin, scoring 75. In the tournament, especially when you get later in the tournament, it's going to be critical that Purdue gets balanced scoring from all members of the team. When you look throughout the rest of the NCAA tournament teams, especially a team like UConn, they have that balanced approach. When you look across their tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, so they're 9 guys, they balance. They have their tier 1 scores 40, then they get 30 or 28 from the tier 2, and then they get like 12, 15, whatever from their tier 3. So they have a good balance. Purdue doesn't do that. Purdue really, if we want to win, our tier 1 guys have got to get over 50, upwards of 60. And that's what you see throughout the season, is that when you have a dominant player like Zach Edey getting 25, and then when we see Smith and Lawyer each scoring in double figures, then you're over 50, even up to 60, in the wins that they've had, especially those non-conference against those top 25, the quad ones. So that's my takeaway from those 2 games. I've got a few questions for you, but I'm going to ask you what your thoughts were, your takeaways.
Yeah, I think when you play in the Big Ten conference, just like any conference, you play these teams multiple times. You know the system, you know the players, you know how to game plan. And I think Michigan State and Wisconsin are really good teams. And they put together a good game plan against us. And I think I'm okay with the outcome. I think because of Smith, his injury, and Edey a week or so ago when he went down with his ankle injury with Braden, I think they were just playing to not re-injure, and because they know their goal is to go and win a national championship. I know in their hearts of heart, in their minds, they know they wanted to win the Big Ten tournament, but I think once it became pretty tough with Wisconsin down the stretch, I think it was don't re-injure. Let's go into this thing. Let's save face and let's go into the tournament. So I think we're going to be just fine. I mean, the tier 1 guys I think are going to show up, starting this week against one of these 16 seeds. And I think we're going to look back and say that this Big Ten tournament loss was a good thing for us, because we've always said, get through this tournament, get to the tournament, the NCAA tournament, healthy. And I think we will be healthy, and that's all that really matters to me. And I just want to move forward from this and look forward to the Friday night's game. So,
all right. Well, I've got 2 questions for you. Against Wisconsin, for the very first time, Braden Smith fouled out of that game. Do you think that has anything to do with that injury that he did suffer?
Yeah, I think he went in knowing that, because everybody says, oh, he's fine. Painter says he's fine. But he goes by what the trainers say, and the trainers go by what Braden says. Braden is a warrior, from what we've been told. He does not want to miss. So he's not Superman. No one is. He had an injury. He was down for a couple minutes. He's got some kind of calf strain. How bad is it? We don't know. I don't think it's that bad because he did actually go out and play, but it's there. And I think he realized, and you can kind of tell in that Wisconsin game that he didn't drive the lane like he usually does and jumps off that one leg. And I think he felt it. And I think he didn't want to push it because in the end, he was thinking either we're still going to find a way to win this game, even if I don't push myself. And then at the very end, when they realized they were going to win, they were up 2. And then that debacle on that defensive out of bounds play, it just ended the way it did. But I think he's probably coming out of there thinking, you know what, I'm okay. I feel good. We all feel good. Let's just forget about this game. Let's heal up and let's attack it this Friday.
All right. My second question with regards to Zach, he got another technical this time around. And so he had 2 fouls early in that game. He was on that bench before the 17-minute mark with 2 fouls. Yeah. That technical foul, it seems like for the last couple of weeks, we've noticed this attitude, you could say, from Zach, staring guys down, staring Hawkins down on that rejection of Hawkins' dunk. I'm wondering, is there a concern there? I don't want, we can't have Zach, we can't have any of our players get into foul trouble, especially someone who is a cornerstone of this team, such as Zach Edey, to get 2 early fouls. What are your thoughts on that early technical?
Yeah, I think he is just in the moment. He realizes that the season is over. This is his last run. He's learning to be ultra competitive, which I think is what he needs to be even more dominant. He was a good basketball player, but never really had, I don't think, that toughness. But now he's starting to see the critics out there, and the nerves are coming. It's NCAA. It's March Madness. Purdue has had the last couple of years not great runs. And so I think it's just getting to him. And I think the coaches are going to sit down with him and say, relax, go out there, do your thing, but we can't afford to have you on the bench. And I think he's going to be fine. I think he is just, feeling the pressure and realizes that I want to dominate. I believe I can dominate. And I'm starting to show people that I am that good. And I think he's feeling that he realizes he's that good, and that's coming out a little bit with his emotions. But I think they'll settle him down for the tournament, and it will be fine. I think we'll be okay for the first 2 games anyway, barring any major injuries. But I think he really will have to focus on calming himself down in the Sweet 16. Hopefully, if we get there.
Yeah,
but I'm okay with it.
Yeah, he certainly needs to get through all this. The Wisconsin loss, that we can accept that. There are no more losses. We can't accept any more losses to the rest of the season. They've got to go 6-0 from here on out.
Yeah.
So here's something going forward as we look forward to the tournament. Their start Friday night against the winner of Montana State and Grambling State. Fletcher Lawyer, he's this X factor for us. He is a critical component to Purdue's offense for sure. Defense, he's good. He takes those charges, but he only had 5. I think it was 5 against Wisconsin. Smith as well didn't do very well, but we think Smith, it was the result of that injury. With Fletcher Lawyer, I was really hoping to see the Big Ten tournament him continue his turnaround, because he was doing pretty well at the end of the season now. And like last season, you have to draw these comparisons. He was kind of suffering a little bit at the end of the season last year. This year he came back, and then all of a sudden the Big Ten tournament, he didn't even, I think between both games, I think he had less than 10. He'd like maybe somewhere around 10. Where do you see Fletcher Lawyer fitting into this, and how do you think it's going to go here as we roll through the NCAA tournament?
Purdue in the Big Ten tournament realized there were mismatches with Edey, so they went to Edey. That was a game plan for Michigan State and the game plan for Wisconsin. It worked all the way through. I believe they didn't think about they were going to rely on Lawyer and Smith and Jones to have to shoot from outside the whole game. It was dump it into Edie, dump it into Edie, dump it into Edie. We still are right there with the lead. We're still going to get it done. So I think that's sort of why we didn't shoot much from outside in that game. I think it was just, let's just,
But
other than that, I don't know. I mean, again, we mentioned Zach Edey is the best player in college basketball. When you have the best basketball player, you have to give that player the ball as much as you possibly can. If you don't and you lose that game, then you have all the questions thrown on you. Why didn't you go to your best player? Why did you go to your best player? I think they're going to ride Zach like they were planning on doing last year, but we do have way better perimeter shooting now, and we've got guys that can drive just in case he does get triple teamed. So I think you're going to still see dunk down to Edey. Dunk down to Edey. You're not going to see a whole lot of threes until we absolutely need it or they're wide open. And when we need them, we'll start shooting them. But I think we're going to get leads, at least starting off with the Zach, that our outside shooters are not really going to try. And is that unfortunate? Well, if Zach is able to get his 2 points, I guess I would rather take a 60, 70% two-pointer than a 40% chance at a three.
Yeah.
So I think that's probably the mentality of why in the tournament Fletcher didn't shoot, Gillis didn't shoot that much, because it was sort of working with Edey, right?
Yeah, it was, but again, against Wisconsin, they lost that game. And one of the things that I would point out from last season to this is that we do need shooters, even if they miss. We need people out there. We need players out there who are willing to shoot that ball. Lance Jones is willing to shoot, drive and shoot. He's willing to do that. Lawyer does as well, for the most part. Mostly in the second half, but I want more from Fletcher Lawyer. I want more from Gillis, and here's why. I agree that if Zach, if he's single covered, you got to go to him. But Zach needs to know that he has an outlet. If he gets that ball underneath and he gets double and triple teamed and he's getting hammered, he's got to know that he doesn't have to try and force that shot up. He has to know that he can dump that ball out, and which he has done successfully throughout the year. He just needs to remember that. And that comes with knowing that if he dumps it out, it's either going to come back in him or they have the confidence to shoot. And no one's going to make every single shot, but he just has to know that they're willing to take that ball from him and do something with it. Last year, it didn't seem like it. It's like hot potato. No, Zach, you take it. No, Zach, you take it.
Yeah.
That's the most important thing that I want to see from them, is that if Zach's double teamed and he has that ball in his hands, he's going to dump it out and someone's going to take that shot. We've seen many times where Mason and Fletcher just don't shoot it.
Last year, we were, I think, ranked 240th range for three-point shooting. This year, we're number 2 in the country. Yeah, so we're a totally different outside shooting team. So we will shoot the ball. You will see Zach getting triple teamed. Lawyer will shoot. Smith will shoot. Gillis is going to shoot, and Jones is going to shoot or drive. And that's what you're going to see when we absolutely need it. If Edey is dominating, he is a way better player than he was last year. That's what people don't really understand either. When we lost to FDU last year, Edey wasn't as great as he is this year. And we have way better shooting this year. And point guards that actually drive the lane and pull up for shots. So we're a totally different team. We have similar players except Jones, but we're playing at a completely different level. And I think we have a different confidence. These guys have talked about it after games that their goal is national championship. They know what's on the line. Lawyer knows he needs to shoot, and he will when we need it. So you're going to see when Zach gets triple teamed, double teamed, quadruple teamed, our guys are going to shoot. If we can hit our 40% average, it's going to be lights out. Guaranteed lights out. Or we will find a way to drive the lane, like I mentioned to you earlier. We're going to have Smith and Jones drive in the lane. Hopefully we can dump off to Edey as his triple team leaves him to stop Jones and Smith from the lane drives. Dump it off to Edey for a dunk, alley-oop dunk. I'm hoping that that's another game plan for Purdue. But I think That's what you're going to see because they are not planning on losing these games. They've heard it enough. They've had a whole year. Painter's talked about that. The players have talked about it. They're not letting that happen. They will shoot if they are open. They're not going to not do it.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
we really need to see. We need to see these
Yep.
guys willing to take these shots, and Lawyer needs to keep shooting. Him and Gills
Yep,
need to
and he
take
will.
more shots for sure.
They're one and done. They're one and done right now. They know one and done. Every single one of them realizes it's going to come down to all of us to win the games for the team. So they're not going to give those up. And Lawyer knows I'm one of the best 3-point shooters in the country. I will shoot. And he's being told, you shoot the ball. Edie's telling him, you shoot the ball when I pass it to you. Just do it. We will get the rebound. Yeah. Right? They're telling him that.
Yeah. So Montana State, Grambling State, they play tomorrow. So have to watch and get a good idea on those teams, or especially the one that's going to winds up winning, and playing Purdue Friday night, 7:45 in Indy.
Yeah, I think we should be fine. We'll be fine as long as there's no major injuries, right? Hopefully we're resting up. We're getting everybody healthy. They're talking to these guys and telling them, relax, get out there and do your thing. Don't worry about the X's and O's so much. Just be confident, play as a team, go out and dominate these teams. And I think you're going to see that, starting off, every game starting off, you're just getting a feel of how the other team is. The score might be a 10-8, 8-6 or 12-8, and you're going to be sitting there thinking, uh-oh. But that's basketball. You have to all start at 0 points. It's over 40 minutes. Over 40 minutes, do you keep adding to your lead? And I think that's how you're going to see Purdue play in these first two games. You're going to see a little close at front, but then you're going to see attack, go to Edie, and then you're going to start seeing our shooters. And you're going to see Smith and Jones really driving the ball. And I would say if Smith is still a little injured, maybe he won't drive as much, but I think you're going to see Jones doing it, and you're going to see Gillis and Lawyer really going after it. And I really believe it's going to be Lawyer Friday night. You will see a different Lawyer, a Lawyer that we saw at the beginning of the year. He and Edie will be our game guys. That's what I think, because he's going to need confidence, and this is his game, right? And he knows Smith has been hurt. Smith would dish it off. This isn't one of the top teams. So he will have the confidence to go out there and just put it on him. Right. Yep. I have a feeling it's going to be his game, and then it's going to just snowball for the rest of the tournament.
All right. Well, I'm looking forward to it.
Yep. Okay. Well, if that's it, leave comments down below if you have any questions, anything you want us to talk about next time. But we will boiler up for Friday night. Hopefully we'll be all ready to go, and we'll look forward to that game and hopefully the next game. And Purdue's run, hopefully, to a national title. So Friday, Saturday, we'll be posting our next video based on the Friday performance. Hopefully it will be a positive thing, which I believe it will be. So, Brett, anything else?
Nope, I don't have anything else.
All right. We are done with the Boilermaker Banter podcast, right? We're in the Purdue stuff. We're all about Purdue, so we will see you guys probably sometime Saturday, right?
Yep.
So,
we'll see you all later.
Yep. See you later. Bye.
Bye.